Very surprised, would never expect to win an award like this. So yeah, really delighted that my fellow players have voted me for this award.
And obviously you are the first domestic player to win this. Obviously before now it's just been the internationals who have been professionals. How much does that mean to you?
Yeah, it means a great deal. There's obviously been some fantastic players won this award over the last few years. So yeah, it's nice to follow in their footsteps and get my name on the trophy alongside theirs.
And what about women's cricket? You just mentioned it there. Obviously this year it's been, a remarkable summer, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's been fantastic for the women's game. I think with the regional setup that we have now, it's really taken off, and I think the 100 showed that there is a need for women's cricket, and to be on the big stage is fantastic. And yeah, it's been really thoroughly enjoyable.
And obviously for yourself, coming in as one of the domestic pros, how did you kind of find that, coming into the game? And obviously things are different. It's your full-time career now.
Yeah, it's been really nice. I think it's been a long time coming for a lot of the girls in the country to be able to play and dedicate a lot more time to training and playing. So yeah, I've thoroughly enjoyed the last year being a professional, and to be able to dedicate a lot more time and have playing as my main career is been something that I've dreamed of for a long time.
And what's been the biggest differences? I mean, I remember being on a Zoom call last November, December, like welcoming all of the members into the PCA, and obviously there's been so many things that have happened over that period of time. What's been like one of the biggest changes for you?
I think just having the amount of time that we can dedicate to training, and the setup's obviously a lot more professional than what we've been used to. And I think during the 100 that just showed how many people came out and supported us. We would never expect that in the first year of the 100. So yeah, that was fantastic to play in front of a big crowd and to be able to perform on Sky and BBC as well. So yeah, I've really enjoyed it.
And do you think it's fair to say then that the structure that we have now, obviously we're hoping there's going to be more professionals as we go forward, that without that setup, the 100 perhaps wouldn't have been a success because the standard perhaps might not have been as good because you had that big training block going into it and you're improving every day? Yeah,
I think the 100's been fantastic for the women's game, and having more and more professionals in the women's game is great, and I think it's obviously only going to drive the standards even further, and I think we're well on our way to catching Australia with how their setup is. So fingers crossed that we can keep adding more pros each year and keep giving opportunities to female players.
And do you think, we're coming obviously towards the end now of the first full season, do you think that the standard has certainly improved from perhaps last year?
Yeah, definitely. I think obviously a lot more players are standing up, and it's not just the overseas players that are performing. There's a lot more domestic players that are performing on the main stage. So I think the standard of all three formats, the batting, bowling and fielding, has improved massively, and I think there's been some spectacular plays of cricket during this summer.
And what about yourself? You might not want to talk about yourself, but how pleased have you been at the way you've gone this year?
Yeah, it's really nice to perform how I want to perform. I think I'm just trying to keep going with that now. I think I'm in a good run of form, so I just try and take each day as it comes and keep trying to perform and win games for my team, and yeah, try and be as successful as possible.
And obviously now there is a spotlight on the women's game. You have got, you can stand out. There will be some recognition for you. But why do you think this year in particular that you seem to have really excelled?
I'm not sure really. I think obviously we've had a full winter of training behind us that we haven't previously had. So obviously I've been able to dedicate more time to my training and all the other aspects of my game with fitness and nutrition, all that stuff. So obviously that's going to play a part in me getting better and better. And obviously I still feel I've got so many areas that I want to improve on and keep developing on. So I think the amount of games we play has obviously increased at a regional level with the Charlotte Edwards Cup being introduced this year. So we've got more opportunities to showcase our skills. So yeah, it's been great.
And do you think that structure's helped? Whereas perhaps in the past, you might be playing, county cricket, which obviously is perhaps not as the same standard as you are now, and whereas this year you're just more structured and you know kind of what you're doing.
Yeah, it's obviously great to have more of a structure in place, and we still have our county cricket at the start of the summer, but that's 4 days of cricket. So to have a specialised structure, playing at the best grounds in the country, playing against the best players in the country, has obviously been really beneficial to myself and a lot of other players as well.
Have you got a highlight from the summer?
I think for me personally, I think the game at Leeds in the 100, I managed to have a good knock and take a good catch as well. So I was pretty pleased with that one.
And what was it like there? Obviously, the crowds there for the women's game is phenomenal, wasn't it? How was it like to play in front of? Because you can't have been used to it, can you?
Yeah, we've never played in front of this many people before, so I really enjoyed it and just tried to embrace it as much as possible. I love playing at our home ground at Edgbaston. The crowds there were phenomenal, and I've never experienced anything like that before. So it was really great to have that many people come out and support us.
Was it a bit unnerving at times with that many people, or did you kind of take to it quite well?
I feel like I took to it quite well. I think, obviously, before the first game, there was a few nerves after seeing the first game of the 100, how many people actually turned out to watch that. So I was a bit apprehensive of how it would go, but I feel as soon as I got on the pitch, I just focused on what I needed to do. So yeah, I just really enjoyed the experience.
And how have you felt it, through the different competitions? Like you say, it's the first time we had the 20 over competition, having 50 over last year. How was that kind of slotted in, and how well are you pleased with how you've gone across formats?
Yeah, it's great to have the other format, the T20 format, involved this year. So I feel the summer's just been constantly chop and change of 50 over T20, 100 and back to T20 and then 50 over again. So it's been a nice change and a nice mix-up. So just to keep us going with thinking with our game plans and stuff. So they obviously have to change between formats, but yeah, it's been great.
And what do you kind of say to those, the girls that have obviously voted for you for this award?
Yeah, it's really nice that my fellow players have voted for me for this award. And yeah, it's just really nice feeling that they've actually done that. So thanks to them, it really means a lot to me.
And obviously, this is the first time that they could vote for people outside of that England group, and the fact the first opportunity they've actually looked at somebody outside of that 17 contracted player. How much does that mean? Because it must show that the appreciation of your game, I suppose. Yeah,
it's obviously a massive shock to me that I've managed to pick up this award, but yeah, I'm really grateful, and it's really nice that I've had that support from my fellow players as well. So it's nice to join some fantastic players on the name of the trophy. So yeah, it's great.
And obviously, next for you, you're heading away to Australia to go and play in the women's BBL. How much are you looking forward to that?
Yeah, I can't wait. It's going to be a great experience. I've been to Australia before and played some club cricket, so to actually go out there and play in the WBBL is such a big thing for me, and I can't wait to go over and hopefully continue my form into the winter.
I just want to rewind 12 months when you'd not even signed your fully professional contract. Could you imagine what would have happened, and the fact you're about to go over to Melbourne for a couple of months to play cricket?
No, I would never imagine this would happen. Even at the start of this year, I probably wouldn't have believed it if you told me. So yeah, it's just a nice feeling to get that opportunity to go out there.
And what's the thing that you're looking forward to most?
I think just playing against some of the best players. Obviously, Australia, #1 team in the world, so to experience that and challenge myself against the better players in the world is exciting for me.
And obviously this year internationally, it's been really refreshing to see some new names coming in that aren't essentially contracted player, whereas perhaps before it might have looked a bit of a closed shop, but it's certainly not anymore. Is that an aspiration of yours? Yeah,
definitely. I think I'd love to play for England and put that shirt on one day, so fingers crossed that can happen. But if it doesn't, I'm having the best time in my life, and there's still opportunities to play around the world, so we'll see.
And is it good as well for you as a player, knowing that when you're seeing players from around the setup get opportunities, does that give you hope and inspiration?
Yeah, definitely. I think obviously there's been 3 new international players this year that have come onto the scene, so to see that happen is great, and hopefully one day that might happen to me, so yeah, we'll see.
And I suppose opportunities like the 100, like going overseas and playing in Australia, is that, you think, that could make the difference, going out there and performing against the best, like you said?
Yeah, I hope so. I think obviously the WBBL is probably one of the biggest franchise tournaments in the world for the women's game. So if I can perform on that stage, then yeah, I'll hope that might put me in a good stance for England's selection.
And just quickly on the PCA, obviously the Players Union that have come on board to help support you. Do you have any kind of words on them and the support they've been able to offer you in your first 12 months as a pro?
Yeah, it's been great to be part of the PCA. I think the support we get is fantastic, and it's really helped us transition from semi-professional cricket into professional cricket, and we know that they're always there if we ever need any help or support. And yeah, they've been great to chat to and pick their brains about how we can perform and things that we can get into. So yeah, it's been great.
And Cinch, finally, in terms of their sponsorship of cricket as a whole, it's important, isn't it, that the game has sponsors to invest into the game and take the game forwards?
Yeah, absolutely. I think Cinch has been great for the women's game this year. They've supported the women's game a lot, so it's great to have businesses like them that are coming on board and really supporting women's cricket and getting behind it. So big thanks to them.